We on air. Okay, thank you so much. For all of you, thank you for coming and joining in with us tonight. This is a meeting of Northampton County Board of Commissioners. We take care of the official business for the Northampton County. Again, we're glad to have you tonight. And tonight is our meeting that when we come to discuss the kinds of things that we want to take place in our county. All of you know that we do have a mission statement. The mission statement is behind me, states for us and for you what our mission is. Our mission is to do the very best we can for Northampton County. That's all. Nothing personal. It's what we can do for this Northampton County. These commissioners committed to do all we can to raise Northampton County to a new level of prosperity, a new level in being neighborly, and just a new level in every aspect of life. We also have behind me is a vision statement. Vision statement also state what we want Northampton County look like tomorrow. We do know that we got to have businesses. We got to invite businesses to come in, recruit them, and we understand that if our county is to be better, it's not all what we do today. It's what we're going to be doing tomorrow and the next day for Northampton County. What would Northampton County look like 20 years from now? The question. What would it look like 10 years from now? Will it be any better or will it be worse? And what we want to do is make sure that it's better. At this time, we're going to have a moment of silence. If you would just for a few moments with all the things we got going on around us, just take a few moments to take your breath. Thank you. Thank you so much. This time, if you would, if you stand with me, we have our badge of allegiance flag, and we want to know that we stand this place in the whole world. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you so much. Board members, you do have the agenda before you that we will discuss tonight. I would like to add one item to this agenda. This is for a placement of a board member on the ABC board. I think you have the information we have prepared. If I need to add that, because right now they can't function because there are only two people. One have resigned on that board. And tonight we do have a recommendation, someone to join that board. We'll talk about even more about that when we get to it, but we need to add that to the agenda. So I'm asking Vice Chairman, where would you like to add that on the agenda? Just be after the tax. After tax and before financial matters. Okay. We'll have that. Is there anything that the board members need to add to the board agenda this time? Please feel free to do so. Something you need to add. This is our board agenda. This is what we have. Could I have a motion? We would approve this.
Anton, I make a motion that we approve the work session agenda for October 2nd as amended to include the ABC board appointment between tax department matters and financial matters.
Thank you. Can I have a second?
I second.
The proper second, that you approve the agenda as given. Any discussion and question? If not, all in favor, let it be known by you.
I Bronax Taylor.
I Faulkner.
As having motion is carried. Thank you so much, board members. I do note tonight, because we kind of changed the way we doing our meeting. This meeting is a meeting where we do not make motion, but we have everything come to the table so that we, the board of commissioners, can discuss it. And that our next meeting will be the meeting that we'll have, that we'll make motions to approve those things that we so desire to approve. So tonight, our first meeting is a meeting where we call a work session. So that we're just gonna come and things come before us and we don't have time to think about it before we make a decision. We come tonight and we lay it all out on the table, then we'll come at our next meeting. And if anybody got any questions between now and the next meeting, they'll be able to ask those persons who have a question. They'll be able to ask and we'll be able to research and make sure that we're doing what we know is right. So I just need to explain to you about our meeting tonight is more of about us getting an understanding of the things that's on the agenda. Well, members, you want to add anything to that?
I would just say that as sometimes we get into the meat of budget season, it's necessary to do more full organizational meetings versus the work session. But when we get to that point, it's usually in the next calendar year and we'll have adjusted our meeting dates accordingly.
Thank you. At this time, we have a conflict of interest. When I asked, last chairman is here tonight, attorney, you don't have to do it. Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Okay, give us the conflict of interest.
In accordance with the rules of procedures adopted by this board and section 153A44 of the North Carolina General Statutes, it is the duty of every member present to vote on all matters coming before the board unless there is a conflict of interest as determined by the board or by law. Does any board member have a conflict of interest with respect to any agenda item coming before the board today? If so, please identify the conflict and the board will consider the matter.
Board members? Conflict?
No conflict, Broadnax Taylor.
No conflict, Faulkner.
Okay. No conflict. No conflict. Thank you, Bernard. We appreciate it. Okay, let us move right ahead. Health Department, you got some information you want us to know. And you want us to move next meeting.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I come to you tonight presenting 3 contracts. The first one, I'm not sure which order they are in for you all, but we will start out with our contract with our speech therapist for home health, Brittany Cowan. She has come asking for a $25 raise from a $75 for initial assessment to a $100 for an initial assessment. She's been working with us. We've been contracting with her for about 10 years and we have not raised her fee for that.
Continue on.
Okay.
Board members, you got any question you need to ask her? Only thing I want to know is, did your board approve this, your health board?
Yes, they have.
Okay, that's the question I have. Any other board members got any questions?
This is a contracted therapist, so it's a request to amend a contract, not a salary increase.
Right, and our contract and our BAA has already been approved by Mr. McKellar as well.
I knew, but I just wanted to make sure for clarification that we weren't approving a salary increase. We were approving a contract change. Right?
Thank you. There is a difference.
I have a question. I noticed that for $100 for an initial assessment, is this a new price or is this a new additional fee that's been added on as opposed to what was done in the past?
No, so the initial assessment she was doing before, she was only charging, we were paying her $75 as opposed to the $100 that she has asked us to increase her fee for. There's nothing new to that. It's just the increase in the fee in the contract.
My other question is, I noticed that Brittany also works for Hertford County, Halifax County, Warren County, and Northampton County.
Mhm.
Are we the only county that's been asked to go up on the fee? Or is
She-
this shared with the other counties that you
She
know
has
of?
not said, but I assume it is across the board. I can ask if you would like me to, but I assume that this is across the board, that she is asking for this increase with all counties. But I can certainly ask.
Because I'm gonna be honest with what she has to do.
Mhm.
It is well worth it. There's a tremendous amount of work that goes into being a speech therapist. and the hours that go into this. She has to do the assessments. She has to do the interview. Is she also the case manager for her clients? Does she act as case manager, or is that a different entity?
So she'll do all the charting and that goes with her patients specifically for speech therapy. But then our patients will also see, like a nurse, one of our nurses will be tacked on to that patient as well, but she will be fully in charge of charting her own notes and stuff for that visit, because that's her service that she's providing.
Because that OASIS electronic
Mhm.
portion is a bear.
Yes,
Got it.
it is.
I got
Glad
it.
I got board members who understand all that. Thank you for telling us that. Been out of education so long till don't know all the new things, but thank you for bringing that. Because now it makes us feel good, better, not feel better about what she was. Okay. Thank you.
And there is money in the budget for this increase.
Thank you.
Continue on.
Okay, the second one is for our custom data processing CDP mobile software. This is a software that is going to be used for the environmental health, food and lodging program. Currently, we are using a system called BETS, and it is getting ready to become obsolete statewide. So they are moving towards this system, which some of the other counties in North Carolina have already moved towards. They have heard very good things about. This will allow our food and lodging inspector to do her charting in the field. So she won't have to come back with all the paperwork and fill it out. She'll be able to do everything right on site and print out information there. You will see that this is a 5-year contract. At first, we were just going to do the 1 year, but we have also come into some state money that has one of the things that are allowable services is to update your environmental health software. So this would be an allowable purchase. And so with this money, we have extended it to a 5-year. I asked him if we could go ahead and pay it up front for the 5 years. If we do have somebody that comes on board and we need more training, he said that we can certainly add that. But in the initial, we're going to go ahead and with the approval of you to go ahead and do the 5-year contract.
Hey, any questions? Any question? Continue on.
Okay. The last one that I come tonight is the contract with Inovalon, and this is who we use our billing for home health. And right now, this specific service will be like our super billing that we use in the clinic area, but it's just a different system. They will be able to catch issues before we send it out, before we get denied. It'll save us some time on the back end of that. You'll see right now that there's a service cost of $381 with a one-time fee. That's the one-time fee, and then it'll be $740.19 per month. Currently, we're paying $648.88 per month. So that's a difference of $91.31. And we do have money for this in our budget to cover this.
Okay, board members got any questions? Any questions? I got a question, board members? I need to ask you another question.
Okay.
I heard through the grapevine, it's not good, but I heard through the grapevine. Perhaps we might be moving into like a mini clinic, not mini clinic, what we call them?
Urgent care.
Urgent care. You ain't got the answer if you don't want to. Are
Okay.
you looking at how we can provide more services for citizens of North Carolina County through that kind of arrangement?
So I will tell you that we haven't looked into like an urgent care setting yet, because we are just now becoming on board with primary care. And I was,
That's what I'm talking about. I read, you got me mixed. Okay,
so
got it.
yes, so we have.
I'm on an
started-
urgent care, so
Okay, I
maybe
know.
that's why I
Okay,
said
got it,
urgent.
got it. I'm with you. I want both of them. Okay, I just want you to know that this board, and that Mr. Elvis is online.
Mhm.
This is one of his pet peeves. We online about what we can do medically for
Mhm.
citizens of this county without always having to go to a hospital. Right then, I go directly to Ronald Rabbits.
Right.
Some things we can take care of right here close. So just good luck, work on it, and let us, the county commissioners, know anything we can do
I will.
to help this come true for our county. There's so many of them that just don't want to drive over to Roanoke Rapids, don't want to drive to hospital.
We
Don't feel like
either.
having that. And then our rescue squad picks up a lot of them. That if they could bring them to a facility here,
Yes.
few minutes and really find out what's wrong with them, and then they can do whatever they need to do or send them back home. Because if you can do that, please let us know how we can help
Well,
in that, because there is some monies available in that area.
okay.
Through our health department, through the state health department that we might need to apply for. We can show them the need, and there is a need
There is a name.
in Northampton County.
I will. And I will tell you, I'm encouraged. Our clinic, since we've been starting, we've already seen our numbers increase. We've seen, especially since we have started billing Blue Cross Blue Shield too. A
Yeah,
lot of other county employees have started coming in, and I've heard really good things. I will tell you too, I know this is not part of the agenda, but we are offering a county employee clinic this Thursday, flu shot clinic, if anybody is interested, for the county employees over at the Wellness. And I sent that out. That's on Thursday.
it's on Thursday. Okay.
But yes, thank you. And I will let you all, I'll keep you
Thank you.
updated on the
Keep us.
progress of that. I sure will.
Partners, we'll be partners with you. Anything that's gonna help us, we getting older, and we might need help quicker, sooner than some of us can get it. Okay. Roanoke
I know
Rapids.
there's a county in the Northeast that has a mobile kind of urgent care clinic. It's in one of those, almost like the veterans, the VA has one that
Mhm.
kind of goes around. It's like that. And they were having the same thing, rural, remote areas without a lot of healthcare
Mhm.
options for situations like that. So if I can't remember if it was Martin or I think it was Martin. Maybe you can see how they funded it sometimes.
And our goal, I'll tell you, that's part of what we've done with the trailer that we bought with our COVID money.
I know.
Our goal is, once we get to the place where we can get stabilized in our clinic, is to go do all these offsite, because we thought about doing like physicals for children when it gets to
Thank
be time. And we did go out to the schools these past couple of weeks and did a TDAP clinic, so the parents wouldn't have to get off work, and did those kind of things. So that is our goal, to go out and do that. We're also looking at maybe in the future too, once we can stabilize everything, is to start offering services at our Gaston Clinic site again, because we still have that location and we still offer WIC through there.
Mm.
But we haven't offered, since COVID, we haven't offered clinical services, but that's something that we're looking into. Mhm.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you so much.
Welcome.
Appreciate board members. You got any more questions you can ask? Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate
It'll be on our agenda. Yes,
I appreciate the conversation. Thank you. Thank you to all. Yes.
okay, I knew you would say something about that. Thank you,
Thank you.
thank you. Okay. Our agenda, we have. Conway.
We made each one of you a small package of what was covered tonight. And this Phillips told me, he said, I'd like for you to keep it short.
Uh-huh,
If you have more questions than what we tell you, just ask.
okay, will do.
So, Cameron, did you get a copy of this letter? You did, okay. That's another.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
It's in our board.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
And as I said earlier, Mr. Phillips said y'all want something short and sweet, so that's what we have prepared. And on behalf of the Conway Volunteer Fire Department, I want to thank y'all for giving Joe and myself the time tonight to explain to y'all why we're in the need of fire tax. We're in a different era we've ever been in. I've been in it, Joe and myself have been in the department both about right at 50 years, for more than 50 years. And we're in an era now that we've never seen before. And as Joe gets into his part, I think you'll understand exactly why we've come to the conclusion we can't make it on fundraisers and donations anymore, but we've got to have some more help to maintain our department. So with that, your first sheet is the Conway District. And around the district we are joined by Woodland, Lasker, Rich Square, Jackson, a little bit of Seaboard and Severn. And I think other than one more department, I think they're working on it. We're the last one to ask for a fire tax. And so any questions on the district?
No,
Okay. Moving on to the next sheet, taxable property in our service area. I've worked with our tax department, and I'm gonna tell you, they've been very helpful in putting these numbers together for us. I want to commend Ms. Mason and her crew because they have done a great job. Our area is about $220 million taxable. Bakelite, are y'all familiar with Bakelite? Bakelite is a chemical plant in Conway that used to be Georgia Pacific.
uh-huh.
And that is about 10% of the total taxable property in our area. And I'll talk a little bit about that. Up until 2017, we consistently get a check from Georgia Pacific of about $10,000 a year. Since 2017, we ain't gotten anything from them. So that's, when you cut out $10,000 a year in a small fire department, that makes a big difference. And on the next sheet, property owner effect. Basically, that's just what I talked about. Bakelite is a big one. That's about 10% of the property. And they would pay about $14,000 in taxes. And the other ones are random. Let's say a $50,000 property owner, it would cost them $35 a year, and so forth and so on. So, and that is if so our total taxable would be $154,000 if all of us collected. Okay, and then on the next page, if we assume our fixed operating costs are $50,000, we want to purchase a $750,000 truck every 10 years at 7% interest. Our annual expense would be about $156,000 a year. So that's basically what the fire tax is, and that's how we arrived at the 7 cents. Some are a little lower, some are up around 8, a little better than 8. But we feel like we start at 7 cents, that will do what we need to do. So and so at this point, I'll turn it over to Joe, and Joe will, I think when he finishes, you'll understand why we don't have a choice but to go to fire tax.
Good evening, Chairman Tyne and board members. We appreciate the opportunity to come before you to explain our needs and hopefully we can resolve our financial issues. On the next page, there's a justification for the fire tax. We've had several fire trucks over the year. There was a 53 Howe we bought for $7,000, the 76, 70,000. We bought a 96 for 166,000. We bought a 99 for 193,000. We bought a 2004 mini pumper for 145. And the last one we bought, which is 6 years old, was a 2017 for 263,000. We've got 2 fire trucks, one that's 27 years old. We got one that's 24 years old. We are in need of replacing 2 trucks now, and we are, as y'all know, because y'all have contributed to our excavation, the medium rescue that we took over in that on the eastern side of the county. And of course, other departments have started doing some of that now. But a medium duty rescue truck is over $800,000. And we can't keep up with the amount of income that we can generate at this present time. Also, we started out with an ISO rating of a 9, and then we went to a 6, and then we cut it to a 5. If we aren't able to maintain and continue to progress in this department with equipment and training and all the other responsibilities that the state places on you to have a functioning certified fire department, we're likely to lose that 5 rating, and that's going to cost homeowners even more money than they are spending now. So we're hoping that that this will justify the need. Johnny and I both for years, and like you said, we've been in the fire department. Well, he's been in here a few years longer than I have, but over 43 for me. And we resisted asking for a fire tax. We didn't want to burden the citizens anymore. But it's come to the point that, you know, when you get a fire truck that you bought in 2017, that was $263,000. And now it's going to cost over $800,000. You know, there's no way that you can keep up with that with barbecue dinners and auctions and this kind of thing. And our communities have been very supportive of us over the years. That's why we've been able to sustain the burden as long as we have, but it's gotten so now that we can't do it. So we respectfully request that you approve this. Thank you.
You mentioned the ISO rate. Are y'all familiar with ISO?
Yes.
In other words, Farm Bureau told us that
Mhm.
from a 9 to a 5, that was say a homeowner, a $1,000 home, $500. So that's what we would like to do.
Board members, they have come before us and you need to ask them any question. All of you all know how important fire and rescue is to every citizen in this county. It was when we now came on this board and we went to the town of Conway. We know that they needed a rescue squad building coming out of Milwaukee. And we did exactly what Conway requested us to do. That building I'm really proud of because it served our end of the county, the eastern end of the county. Not only that, but he said it better than I could say it. With some parts of the county not having adequate fire protection, Conway is able to provide it for them. And that's one reason I like Northampton County, because we'll go over the line where we need to go if help is needed. I've seen it in so many instances where one fire department from another municipality goes to another place. I mean, they're just there.
We've been in Virginia for
That's, you got it. You're right. I know you probably have over there the Balkans. And we understand that. I really don't know how you've done it. This personally, how you operate this without any help. I really, because the Severn Fire Department got a whole new truck last year. The state gave them one. Okay. And I want you to know that, yeah, without a doubt, we see what the needs are. I hate to be the only one talking, but let me ask you this. Have y'all consulted with any of the citizens in that area?
Well, what we were told the process was first go to the time board.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we met and
Yes.
put the numbers together, went to the time board, and they unanimously approved it. And then the next step of the process will be told to you guys.
Okay.
Do y'all have the approval of time?
Yes, we got all that.
And then the next step, after we heard from y'all, would be have a hearing,
Okay.
a county
That's
hearing. And that was-
That's
the last step.
okay. Okay. I can't see where anybody want to go against a fire department. I really don't, but at any rate, people do. We're not say that anymore. Board members, I run my mouth. You have anything you need to ask them about Conway Fire Department?
I have a question. So that approval letter is in our packet, our board packet tonight?
Yes.
Okay, all right, thank you. Secondly, my question is like Chairman Tyner, how have you made it this far? What funds have you utilized to make it up to now? Have you gotten, funds from the state? How have you done this? How have you maintained so far?
Each year we stay fine.
Mhm.
Each year, that's the time that we have received, and sometimes it's from 20 to 30 or $35,000. It used to be we had to pay a third of it, and they pay it for. If you're on those certain population, you don't have any
money that you have to put up for that. But otherwise, we've done one of this package, all a soccer and soccer. We set a plan.
Yeah.
We've had a car show.
Mhm.
And we've been able to meet the bill, we can't continue. That's our issue.
And we probably waited too late because as y'all recognize, we got a 24 and a 27-year-old fire truck. And we should have already replaced
Right.
those. And so we have stretched out too far. We should have come to y'all before now. But we haven't.
Thank you for trying to be conservative. Thank you. Board members, any other questions you all need? This is discussion for the board member. Any other
Mr.
questions?
Chairman.
Yes,
Okay, when we talk about fire tax for Conway, is this the only township that we're looking at a fire tax for, or are we talking about countywide? That is my only question.
other towns have theirs. I don't have those numbers before me. But other towns have their tax, that tax already. Conway is probably one of the last ones to
Clear.
come ask for that.
Only two now.
Only two.
Conway and stuff.
Conway and Sanford, that's right. Conway said, thank you. Sanford just got a new truck, so they probably don't need one. I mean, they got a new, brand new truck. But of course, we know in Severn, we got Severn Peanut Company. That the
Right.
state said they really need to make sure they got the adequate equipment down there to fight a fire. Y'all can remember, we had a huge fire down there some years ago. Yeah, I mean, a huge fire.
I'm clear.
Put out.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Yeah, you all with that, that's right. Are there any other board members? Mr. Ellis, any others?
Thank you.
Any others? Board members, what we'll do, we'll have this, when you go do your public hearing, if you'll bring us back the minutes from that public hearing, it'll help us to feel assured that the community knows about it. You don't have to do it, but since it is required that you do it if you ask it for this. If you just bring us there.
Now, what we understand, we understand that we're supposed to hear from y'all first before we have a public hearing. Is that correct? Or you want to have the hearing first or?
I don't know, that Turner, you tell me.
I don't know off the top of my head, Mr. Martin, but what I would suggest is that I suspect this board will take action on your request at its next meeting on October 16th.
Mhm.
And I'll leave it to you whether you want to go ahead and schedule that public hearing.
Okay.
While this is.
And as suggested, it's okay with y'all, you have a public hearing in Conway at 5.
Right.
Yeah.
Where it ought to be. That's right. Where it ought to be. That's right.
We'll do a similar presentation, then a little more in depth than what we've done tonight.
Right.
Understand.
Fine.
So,
Let-
so, again, y'all want us to wait to hear from y'all before we have the hearing?
No, man, Turner.
My question, since we've already gone through the budget cycle and the tax process, how does this change this in,
Next
This would
year.
be for- This would be for the
Next year, not this.
well, most of the time we'd get those like requests and things closer to the budget cycle. So,
But this.
so it's not a really like a
It's a-
urgent, like it has to happen.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, and it's,
And that's what I wanted to kind of be clear on, because usually with all the other, they were usually fire tax increases. They came to us during the budget cycle versus at this point.
We're
So,
just trying to get to work early so we
Good
get
work.
everything done.
Good.
Not
okay.
meet deadline.
And see, the other ones, we didn't have to approve their request because they already had a tax. We were just putting in their request for increase. So this is different in my 2 years, cycles as a commissioner. We've not had this during the time. So I just wanted to be clear.
everybody, we all clear, so we can tell Conway what they need to do. That's where I go through every day, Conway.
Yeah, and I think,
Okay, y'all, we'll wait to hear from y'all at your next meeting.
Okay, that'd be
And,
fine. All right. You fine?
Yes, you will be contacted after the next meeting on the 16th. And in the interim, I'll brush up on the procedure myself, to make sure we're all on the same page.
And then just after we have the hearing, we'll feedback, we'll come back. And give them the feedback.
We're fine. We're fine. Any board members, any others? Thank you, Conway. We want to do all we can to make sure our citizens are safe. Safe as it possibly can be.
Thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Appreciate your support.
Yeah, we're always. At this time, next thing on the agenda. Tax Department.
Good afternoon. I stand before you to obtain the board's approval of 13 appeals in the amount of $6,213.79.
Board members, you've heard from tax administrator office, and they've asked for our approval. These refunds. What is your pleasure? Oh, that's right. Okay, we're not voting. Thank you. We got, I'm sorry. I'm gonna never get used to it. Okay,
Mhm.
never do.
It's just, it's a second, yeah.
Ms. Johnson,
Well,
there was a second, is there a second matter as well?
but we have two.
It was two.
We have two. For 6,000. One for 5,000. Which one did we just do? The 6,000. Okay, could you go back to the podium and give us?
This look like this has already been presented. This have September the 18th on.
Yeah, it's two. It's two. That's why I said I didn't understand why it was two in there.
To what?
I said it was two. One was September, one was October. So
You saying
I
it's,
don't know if that was.
So I only had this one. Did she present this one earlier?
It's
sure,
hard for us to,
Uh,
board members to remember because they come up.
right. We have big meetings. We didn't have it. You did.
If he brought it, yeah.
Okay. What you want?
Well, we will just accept the
Get this.
October 2nd one. And if that, because we do vote at the next meeting, if this is found that we did not vote on this one for some reason, maybe they were late acceptances after that time, because that was one of our meeting nights, that we can just vote on that at that, as long as we have it in advance.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. We appreciate it. At this time, we have financial.
The ABC Board of,
ABC
ABC
Board.
Board.
Okay,
we slid that one in.
okay, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a resignation from the ABC Board. I have a few information that you need a person to replace that person on the ABC Board. Now there are only two people there. And we need to have at least three people there so that they can go on and take care of business. This is the application that we have received. This person who has sent it in to the clerk's office. We have received this application. I did not see a lot about this person. This person retired and worked with DA's office and so forth. But at any rate, in Northampton County, she has an interest in being a part of that board. while we're doing this, I want to say to the citizens, we do have board openings. And we desire, if you desire to be on one of our boards, please fill out the application, get it in back to the clerk's office. Even if you own the board, you need to fill out the application, because now it is that we are asking all citizens who desire to be on the board to please let us know. And we will do whatever we need to do when the time appropriate, that we can do some appointments. Our board members, this is the recommendation that the chairman have at this time for a person to join the ABC board. And when I talked to her this today, she says, I was certainly, I want to join it, but I gotta have some training. That's what I like about a good person, a person who want to join a board. You all at least know, be familiar with the laws and bylaws, what you can do and can't do. And with the ABC board, you all understand that the county really does not control that board. That board is controlled in Raleigh by the state ABC board. So I need not say no more. I have that recommendation to give to you tonight, that she would be joining that ABC board. And while on another subject, this ABC board needs to have more members. It's only 3 folks. That doesn't represent our county. Everybody understand, 3 people on any board does not represent our county. We need to ask our attorney to look into this matter. Let us know what do we need to do in order to add 2 more people to that board. It's just, I'd like for our attorney to just give us a feedback on that whenever. Yes, ma'am.
I know you stated that we had a recent resignation. Is there any way of finding out the residence location of the 2 remaining ones, so that we can see if there are any areas that we need to try to recruit for a member to come from in our county?
Okay.
So we can have that before the next
Yeah,
meeting.
before the next meeting, we have that. That's good. That's great. Because we need to have it from the east to the west. People who represent. Now that is a program that we've got to improve. It's got to be improved in North Anthony County. We're the only county that do not receive funds from that board for our general fund or even for the school system. And other counties doing that, and we just need to come in there with ABC board and do what we need to do. They need to do what they need to do to show us profit in their revenue. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Not time to ask. If not, we would add it to the agenda. How about it? Financial matters? Yes, sir. Financial matters? Ma'am.
Good evening, everyone. I will be presenting 2 budget amendments for your consideration on this evening, as well as the monthly financial report. I will be starting with budget amendment number 58 on behalf of the Sheriff's Department. And this is in the amount of $40,000 of revenue received towards the military surplus equipment line. There's backup to support the budget amendment. Next, I have budget amendment number 59. This is on behalf of the Department of Social Services. This is new funding towards the APS Essential Services, which is also the Abuse Prevention Services. This is in the amount of $2,718.76. And this is state additional funding from the American Rescue Plan. And there is backup to present this budget amendment as well. Next, I will move forward with the Monthly financial report, and this is for the month of September. The rule of thumb for cumulative spend for expenditures was to stay below 25%. The general fund expenditures were 8.6 million at 22%. Department of Social Services, 1.4 million or 18%. The enterprise fund, $411,000 at 0%. Garysburg Water and Sewer, $103,000 at 13%. And last, solid waste, 2.7 million at 93%. And the reason for this high increase is due to the blanket PO that's issued for curbside pickup. And that concludes the monthly financial report for September.
Well, members, you have an opportunity to ask finance girl anything you need to ask about finance. Don't ask in here, you can certainly go to the office. Anything about your finance. Thing you want to ask about the financial. Finance officer, we appreciate keeping us abreast with everything that we're doing as expenses wise. Thank you, Vice Chairman, for being on top of this. Good to see your pet peeve. Thank you for being on top of this. If you desire, I think somebody said they want us add to last year we had done.
Yes,
It's up here.
yes,
Okay,
sir.
I hadn't looked at it.
That's been
Okay,
added.
thank you. Okay, all right. I thought fulfill your obligation with Vice Chairman.
I try.
You gotta love this to do this. I board members, any question want to ask about the finance? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. County Manager?
Good evening, everyone. I also want to thank Ms. Kenya over there. I know she's gone through a whole lot and it hasn't even been a year yet, but she's still here. And I told her I'm gonna have to chain her to that seat. She's not going anywhere. But I just want to say thank you for all the hard work that you put in. We've been working diligently to close this audit out, for 2022. I would say that some people will be frustrated, but I'm actually not frustrated as much at this point because they're actually working on the financial report. They're working on the statements. I've been in contact with the lead auditor, and the questions that we're getting now are based on them putting the statements together and they're dotting their I's, crossing their T's, and making sure that they account for everything. Couple of new standards that we have to abide by now, GASB 87, which has to do with lease financing. I'm not going to bore you guys, put you to sleep with that stuff. But every county got hit with that because it was a new GASB pronouncement that we have to follow. And this year it's going to be subscriptions. But we basically, one of the best things that we did was to bring on a CPA to help us out to get through this audit. And by doing that, I can tell you, we spent several months with him putting together the 2022 audit. And if it took 3 or 4 months for him to help us to get to this point where they can close it out, I can honestly say within the last week, we've worked on 2023 audit, and we're almost ready to hand that over with the 2022 audit. So as soon as they close this one out, we'll be handing that over to them for them to do the field work, and then it's going to be on them again. So I'm gonna put the pressure on them to get that done. And I'm looking forward to this time next year. Y'all won't hear us talking about this. We'll be talking about what we're doing for the summer. Amen. That's all I have for tonight. Thank you all for coming out. Do appreciate you all the time for showing up and your interest in what's going on in the county. We do appreciate you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate all that you're doing. We'll say more about it when we have our report. All right, this time, Mr. Edwards. He's not on now. Okay. This time we shall But, commission.
Thank everybody for coming out. This has been a fast meeting. I'm sitting here going, is it over yet? Look like we just started. But last week was a busy week in Northampton County. We had the safety training, which was wonderful at the Cultural Wellness Center. That was fantastic. On Saturday, Northampton County was the 5K run there in Severn. It was fantastic. I stayed there and looked like I was running. I didn't run, but I looked like I was running and had breakfast with everybody. It was a fantastic event. Then after that, the Memorial Library had the George Horton festival that I could not get to because I was looking like I was running. I got ill and took myself to the hospital. So I could not get to that. But it was a fantastic day in Northampton County. Thank everybody for being there. And as you know, things don't happen in Northampton County. We make them happen.
Okay.
And we have to do it together. We have to do it together. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
Like, to thank everybody for coming out tonight and encourage you to continue to come out, participate in County government.
That's Chairman.
Good evening, everyone. Two things. On October 5th, there will be a forum at the Creasy Gym from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock to hear from your current officials in the town. That's where I live. So you'll be able to hear from them and ask your questions. I think you have to give those questions in advance of the meeting actually starting. So try to arrive a little earlier. I do want to send condolences to the family of the construction worker who lost his life on the project 158 over by the Garysburg area, and the co-workers from our area who were his co-workers, and they live in our community. I do not believe that individual lived in our community, but his co-workers did, and they're greatly impacted. So we do want to send our condolences to the family and the friends of the young gentleman who's in his 50s. I'm 53, so I think about, not too far from my age. So again, just we never know. Leave to go to work one day and you don't make it home. So hug your loved ones a little bit tighter. Don't take a moment for granted. The final thing for my family and friends in Rich Square, please take care of what we have. Parents taking your children out to the playground, please make sure they play safely and appropriately on the playground equipment. And if you notice anything sketchy around the area, please don't hesitate to call the sheriff's department or the local town hall to let them look at it and see what's going on. We want to do more. We do have citizens who are emailing and saying they're looking to buy land and come back home because they see that we're trying to do something in the community and they want to be a part of it. So that's how things start. The county put almost like a booster shot into the community, but the everyday safety and health of our community lies within the people who are there every day. So, and that's not just Rich Square, that's every community in our county. We have to, as Commissioner Bartnack Taylor says, we have to make it happen. And when people are helping to make it happen, we have to take care of it. So that's it.
Thank you. Since you said something about Rich Square, had an interesting telephone call Aircraft in Rich Square have been purchased by a citizen of Rich Square who's looking to make that facility available for the town, for the county. And he's a graduate of school, W.S. Creasy School. And he made the purchase last week. You'll hear more about that in days to come because he got some great ideas. And he might be listening, hoping, but he must have some money because he want to do some things.
See,
In Rich Square. I just want y'all to know when we try to lift things up, people see you trying to lift things up, they'll come in and help you to lift things up. Tonight is a great night. Great night for Northampton County. This night is a great. I'll tell you something, work hard at this. Work hard at making Northampton County what it is. And board members, I want to thank you for helping me and not holding me back and doing what I need to do to make Northampton County great. Tonight at 12 p.m. a.m., whatever it is. The governor will not sign the legislation for the budget, so the budget will be enacted. For Northampton County, it means for us $18 million coming to Northampton County from the state. That $18 million is coming for water and for sewer. For water and for sewer. The projects that they are so much interested in is, of course, one of the projects is going up to the lake where we will have water and sewer there for hotels, whatever they need. The other part of that money will be used for other water projects in the county. That's not a part of our 6 water projects. Got one more thing to tell you. I'm excited. Work is not in vain. Coming to Northampton County will be $2.5 million for criminal justice for our jail facility. It will not build a new jail, but it get us on our way. What we tried to do with the General Assembly, it's because of relationships, folks. You can't stay in Northampton County and think you're just gonna come to Northampton County. You got to have relationships. We have those relationships. We cherish those relationships. And the thing about it, we can have a relationship and ain't got to sell our soul. Let me say that one more time. I know I'm not in church. You ain't got to sell your soul. In other words, you tell people what you need and show people what you need. And people will see if you say it and say it loud enough and be respectful with it, people will hear you. Coming to Northampton County. Y'all just got to keep in mind, we just got last year $14 million for the courthouse. We just got last year the monies that we need, the Oldham prison that we state gave us. We plan to still use that facility. That's where the new jail is going. They gave us the money to do all the architect, engineering, everything that we need for that facility, along with a certain amount to make sure that the facility we have now is up to where it needs to be. I want you to know, because of that, Northampton County now can do some things, folks, that they haven't done before. Do some things. Development is coming. Next 6 months, just watch. Development is coming between 95, 96, Development is coming all the way there. Already got into, developers have already got into. I want you to know tonight at 12 o'clock means something for Northampton County. Means some citizens can have some water. We can do some economic growth. You cannot do any economic growth without water and sewer. There's some others coming in municipality will also receive some money. I'm really excited about it. Work hard for Michael Ray. The town, I think every municipality we get a little bit of amount. Don't let me quote it to you right now. I'll mess it up. But I know one of the big ones is the town of Jackson and town of Woodland. Was out of those amounts. It'll be out tomorrow. It'll be in the play. We get a new well of water in Jackson. That's what we get. I want y'all to know, if you live in Northampton County, this is a time to be excited because some things are going to happen in our county that would not keep us back, that will move us forward. Because I've said all of that, board members, we need to have a retreat. And I need you to be thinking about, we need to have a retreat within the next 30 days. Have until who's out sick. Y'all all know that. Please pray for her. She has acute illness, and we want to make sure that we pray for her. But I'll get her to get in touch with all of you as board members, and then we'll talk about having a retreat where we can further plan what we plan to do with our funds that we have and funds that we know we're going to see. In a few days, please look in, there'll be public notices placed out. Please come to the meeting. One public notice going to be placed out will be about the addition to the courthouse. They're requiring us to do a public notice. So when you get a public notice, you want to come and see what it is, please feel free to come. We received above the monies we received from the state last year. Federal government's given us $5 million to put that there. We already got it in writing. I'm telling you what we have in writing. Okay, so we're gonna put our county offices up there, one-stop center. So you can go to courthouse, registries, everywhere you need to go. Everything will be right there. So you know that that's coming out. You need to be in that public hearing because not the state's requirement, USDA requirement. We're gonna do exactly. I'm doing what everybody require me to do. I don't like wearing no yellow, red, orange. Oh, I got them all wrong, ain't I? Ought to have mercy. We want to make sure we do everything that they're requesting us to do. But the county, the towns gonna come out fare very well on this line. We certainly won't get all we need, but every little bit. So Northampton County, let's be proud of Northampton County. Let's do everything we properly can, because in the last 2 years, we've gotten to over about $30 million in our county coffers from state and federal monies that we did not have to pay. We don't have to pay. We don't have to pay. Just want you to know, board member, this is what we've been waiting for, so we can really make plans for what the future looks like. What we want to do. So tonight you'll see it, but it'll probably be all in the paper. You'll see our Representative Ray around going to all the towns and even here presenting us false money. And we, they know how they come with every month. I'm telling you, this what we got. Thank you. Board members, do you have any questions? I said that, and I had not informed you. Do you need to ask me any questions publicly? You feel free to do so. This is something that we started 3 years ago. We've been working on it every day. We've been working on. hard. Somebody say I got sick over this, but at any rate, I work hard. to get this done. All I need was your support. And it's coming through. Any other question? Any question? If not, we have nothing for a closed session. Could I have a motion then to adjourn? Please?
Make a motion.
Make a
Go ahead.
motion, we adjourn.
Second,
Moving proper second, that we adjourn the meeting. Are any questions and discussion? All in favor, let know by you saying aye.
I Brown Taylor.
I Faulkner.
Aye. Have it, motion is carried. Thank you all for coming. We appreciate it. If y'all please keep up with the newspaper and all that we